views and opinions expressed by our guests in the program do not reflect the official position of the radio station.
Nandito na ang pinakamakulit na DJ sa balat ng lupa, ang hippopotamus na papatay sa inyo, papatay sa inis, si DJ Yui.
Yes, good morning. Magandang umaga, tanghali, hapon, gabi. Hoy. It seems that nobody around. Talaga lang. Anyway, kumusta? Today is June 19. Maraming nag-birthday ngayon na mga kaibigan natin. Sino-sino ba yung mga birthday celebrant today? Oo. Of course, kung birthday ang pag-uusapan, birthday ni ngayon? Ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Ika-160th birthday niya. At birthday din ni Joey Baluyot. Rizali, Parkon, Sabando, si Risa, birthday ni Risa, Risa, Rizal, birthday din, di ba? Si Sophia, happy birthday. Si P. Cabalis, happy birthday. Ayan. Maraming nagbe-birthday today. At ano pa? Today is yun na nga, Rizal, birthday ni Rizal. Oo. So halos karamihan na mga Pilipino, lalong-lalo na yung mga miyembro ng Knights of Rizal, of course, nag-celebrate ng birthday ni Rizal. Actually dito sa Montreal, mayroon pong celebration na nagaganap dyan sa may Mackenzie. Ewan ko kung ready na ba si Bay para mag-set up. So far, mga kaibigan, para sa ating mga kapatid na nandito, sino ba yung mga nandyan? Uy, si Elaine lang, si Marv, po si Jello. Yung iba, wala pa. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, mga kaibigan, our Facebook, ang aming Twitch TV, ayan. Baka naman ay pwedeng pasadahan. May nag-message sa akin. Ayan. Bago lahat. Mayroon na naman. Sabi ko naman sa inyo, ito wala talaga, walang kadala-dala. Talagang basta feeling nila gawin nila talaga, walang problema. Basta feel nila. Basta pakiramdam nila na gagawin nila talaga. Walang tawag ito. Isip-isip kung anong meron. Basta gusto gawa. Tira. Basta trip nila gawin talaga. Di ba? Ganun lang sila ka ano tawag ito? Basta mahirap sabihin yung ibig kong sabihin. Di ba? So abangan natin, mga kapatid. So while siguro sa mga hindi nakakaalam, sa mga nandyan, sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon, those who are listening to us right now or viewing, shout Inday Sairi. Para Sinchang, para sa kaalaman ng lahat, mga kapatid. Ay si Rizal. Si Rizal lang po ang may pinakamaraming monumento o ribulto sa buong mundo. Ayun, ito na. Ito na si Bay. Pumasok na. Yung meron dito ngayon.
Hi,
So,
how are you?
I'm fine and good. English, ha?
Wala pa, hindi pa ready.
Di pa sila ready? I'm fine,
Hindi
I'm
pa
good.
ready. Ayan, nagpe-prepare pa.
Sino ba yung nakita mo? Si Marvin ba yun? Si Marvin ba yung nandun sa taas? Sino pa yung mga nandyan? Gaano katagal yung programa nila?
Sabi 9 to ano eh. Saan ba yung program?
Oh,
Sige ng program. Ito yung program ba eh.
oh. Yan. Saan yung program?
Andito si ano, si Arkan.
Per Arcan. Nandyan si Per Arcan. Ito Sir Per Arcan, ha? Mhm. Ayan, si Per Arcan.
Yan.
Sino ang
Sige,
mga
patuloy ka lang dyan. Magbabalik tayo mamaya pag ano, pag ready na.
sige.
Kita naman sa...
May taga-embassy, may
Ayan.
taga-embassy ba?
Ayan, naka-live ka ha. Ayan, yan.
Oo.
Interviewin mo itong mga ano natin.
Sige.
Oh, live to around the world ha. O ito, papakilala. Ito si Sir
PGR Past Area Commander, Western Canada Region. Si Madam.
Oh, hi, I'm Amy Maranov, representing the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal.
Hinamantingog ba?
Commander.
This is Sir Jerry Sanchez, PGR, present Chapter Commander, Montreal.
Yan po ang chapter commander.
Ano ibig sabihin ng chapter ba?
Chapter?
Tanong mo ano
yata
ibig sabihin ng chapter?
Kanto-kanto.
Kato-kato.
Sa Tagalog, kanto-kanto. Chapter eh.
Loko.
Ito. Gusto mo ito interviewin to? Ito. Oh, ito.
Sino yan?
Mamimigay ng mas. Ang bait to.
Ha?
Ang
Wala
bait
ba
mamimigay ng mas.
Anong baka may kasabay na binibigay? Ano ba binibigay? Mas lang?
Kaso ako, hindi ako binibigyan.
Hindi ka binigyan ng mas?
Interviewin natin. Ito. Yan. Live ka, live. Live around the world.
Rizal Day, and we are celebrating in Rizal Park in Mackenzie. And we have a special guest.
Anong ranko mo?
Ako ito karaniwang night of Rizal lang. Pero kasama natin yung mga friends. Nga pala ito nga pala ang ating Supremo, number 1. Sir, nakablog po tayo ngayon.
Live.
At itong mga souvenir na ito, hawak namin, libre pinamimigay para sa lahat. Bilang suporta ng Night of Rizal. Hawak po ni Sir Jim Tilapas ang mga items para sa lahat.
I'm happy to see my good friend Jonathan. He's back with me, and he's back as my friend. I've known him for quite some time, and now we're here together to commemorate the birthday of Dr. Rizal. So we wish everybody around here to carry on what Dr. Rizal has started. It's still an unfinished business. Okay, go on. My friend, with the help of our number 1 blogger in community, Mr. Jonathan. Okay? Thanks a lot.
Si DJ, sabihin mo hello. Kilala mo siya, si House Father. May bisita tayo.
And I would like to introduce to you also, he's been known in our community, a good friend of our community, as a matter of fact. And we're always going to be with him. The Member of Parliament, Mr. House Father.
Yeah, here we go.
Go. Hey, how are you?
Yes, sir. We're live on CPRM.
Well, it's great to be here to celebrate with the Knights of Rizal, and looking forward to finally being together for the first time in more than a year. And just want to wish everybody in the Filipino community a wonderful Filipino Heritage Month. It was a great pleasure to second the bill to make Filipino Heritage Month the month of June in Canada. And it's wonderful to celebrate with the local community Jose Rizal's birthday, and and I guess a little bit late, the independence day of the Philippines.
start here. Start to the our NCs here.
Okay, fantastic.
Ayan, mag-uumpisa na raw ba soon?
Okay, go ahead.
Nandito na
Sige,
ang
go
MC.
ahead. Salamat, salamat. Sino pang nandyan na
Ito na rin
pwede
siya, no?
mong,
Mr. Rutran.
pwede mong kausapin?
Yan.
Baka you can ask something.
Yan. Yan.
Mm-hmm.
Si-sit up na sila.
Mm-hmm.
O yan, say hello to Mr. Rutran. Mr. Rutran, we're live.
Hi, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here for this important day, the 160th birth anniversary of Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. What people watching this video need to know is Dr. Rizal led the Filipinos to realize their destiny, that his work talked about racial equality and respect between nations. It was the first step towards true national independence. And people need to realize that the Philippines were the first nation in Asia to throw off the shackles of colonialism. So today is a very, very important day for Filipinos everywhere. You can be proud of your heritage and your origin, and you can be proud of the national hero who began the road to independence.
Right. DJ, you have a question for Mr. Rutran?
So far, none today. Probably we will
Not
schedule
today.
it. Hi, sir. We will schedule him for interview.
Okay, so yan ang nangyayari ngayon. Yan. 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 Yan, may bisita rin tayo. Wanna say hello? Yan.
Shabbat shalom, and I'll be endorsing it Saturday.
Yan. Yan, mag-uumpisa na daw yata.
Sige, sige. Panoorin natin. Okay.
Prepare na sila. Busy-busy nag-ano, picture-picture. Yan. Oh, so si Madam, oh, baka gustong bumati ni Madam. Live tayo around the world, ha? Yan yung mga ano, mga dam. Hindi dam na ano ng tubig, ha?
Anong dam?
Hindi yan
Anong
mga dam, ha?
Anong dam?
Sinong ano? Wala pa yung ano nila, yung Lady Dam.
Anong lady dam? Lady Sobresado.
So, ano mo muna? 2 eps na muna nagsasalita.
Ayan. O, yan din siya tipili. Ayan. Yan, naghahanda na yung MC. Oh, may alcohol din ba yun?
Ano, iniinom yan? Iniinom?
Ha?
Iniinom?
Ano?
Iniinom ba yung alcohol?
Ay, hindi. Pulutan yan. Sorry.
Pulutan. Just kidding.
Oh, ito yung nangyayari. Ayan, empty pa yung kabilang tenton. Ayan. Ayan. Si MC, nagpe-prepare na si MC. Ayan.
Okay. Gaano ba katagal yung program nila?
Ayan,
How long?
nag-ano na sila. Sabi 9 o'clock daw sa sa schedule.
9 o'clock.
Tabert, anong oras mag-uumpisa?
9 o'clock. Di naman sinabi umaga o gabi.
Ayun.
Hindi naman sinabi umaga.
Tama. Oo. Kaya ka, sinabi ba kung anong araw? Ay,
Wala rin sinabing araw. Patay na. Lagya.
Ayan. Ito. Gusto mo magkape? Yan, oh. Oh.
Okay.
Live yan, live. Manood kayo dyan. Manood kayo sa YouTube. Live yan. Live tayo. Lima daw. Lima.
5. Sige, kunan mo ng 5.
West Island Group daw sila.
West Island Group.
West Island chapter.
Ayan, West Island chapter na pala si Tata Bert, bay.
Okay. Ang kukuha dyan, taga West Island lang. Yung pwedeng kumuha. Kape daw. Kape.
Oh, kape. Ayan. Oh. Susugod muna sila. Oh, andito na si Pialo. Oh. Yan. Oh,
Sip,
baka gusto
bay,
mo
bay,
kumain ko to?
bay, sip malang ito ni mo, bay.
Ha?
The best daw ka, the best.
Bay,
Sip talaga.
bay. Kulang sa
Oh.
lagay.
Kulang sa lagay. Oh, lagyan mo, hingin mo ng lagay.
Kulang sa lagay. Oh, ayan, mag-uumpisa na daw.
Everybody please, here.
Oh, ayan daw, everybody daw. Narinig mo?
Oh, everybody. Hindi ba everyone? Everybody talaga? Paano ko yung walang body? Ha?
Hindi ata ako kasama kasi
No, everybody rin daw. Hindi ka kasama dyan.
everybody daw eh.
Oo.
Ayan.
Eh,
Oh, ma-witness nyo paano mangyayari ha. Everybody daw ha.
everybody.
Ayan, everybody tinatawag na doon daw.
Ano ba gamit mo? Bye.
Everybody, we'll start the program.
O yan, nagtatawag na si Tata Bert. Everybody daw.
Yes, ganito po mga kaibigan. Ganito po, picture muna sila. Babahala na yung program nyo.
Busy nagpipicture.
Basta makaposing. Wala, yung importante makaposing. Again mga kaibigan, habang sila ay hindi pa nag-uumpisa, I would like you to tingin muna dito sa natin sa ating slideshow. Yan. Yung pong Rizal Square in Xinjiang, Xinjiang, China. Mga kaibigan. So ito po. Pinakamataas po ito, pinakamalaking monumento ni Rizal. 18.61 feet po. Ayan. Itong monumento na to ay pinaka-tallest. Tall. Di ba? So, it was created last 2002 sa China. Kasi ang descendant ni Rizal is Chinese naman eh. Kaya, yan. Of all the country, ito ang pinakamalaki, mga kaibigan, mga kapatid. So, kaya yan, we will start na.
Ayan ba, mag-uumpisa na?
Yeah.
Ayan, magano na sila, magmamarcha na.
Magmamarcha pa ba sila?
Papaliparin ko lang yung drone natin ha.
Sige, papaliparin mo yung drone.
Oh, yung drone natin, papaliparin natin.
Baka ikaw ang lumipad, hindi ang flag. Hindi ang drone.
Where are you? So, good morning to everybody. We are happy that you are here for the purpose of celebrating the 160th birthday anniversary of Dr. Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. And I would like everybody to stay there, or you can stay there. That's okay. While we are going to sing the national anthem of the Philippines, led by Sir Ed Valdez.
Okay, we'll start with the Philippine National Anthem.
Okay, move forward, Philippine anthem. Forward yung Sir Ed Valdez is the duty area commander of Eastern Canada.
Please join me in singing the Philippine National Anthem. Okay? Bayang magiliw, pero silanganan, harap ng puso, sa dibdib may buhay. Lupang hinirang, bulaklak magiting, sa manlulupit. Di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit bumukod. May dilalang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang tiglap ng latawa mo'y tagoy, kailangan nilingig. Ang bituin at parang na kailan pa may di magniligid. Lupa ng araw ng bahay at sinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. And we will also sing our national anthem for Canada, led by there is a bad is not here. Oh. Sir Julius, are you around? Okay. Okay.
Oh, Canada, our home and sweet land, who raises us when all ourselves command, with glory times may see us, our true was strong and free. From fire by through Canada, always
And then we'll have now the Pledge of Allegiance by Sir Dante Tabamo, who's the commander of the DG chapter.
Raise your right hand. Pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Pledge of allegiance to the flag
and to the republic for which it stands,
and to the republic for which it stands.
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, I call on Sir Dario Gopo, CGOR, Past Area Commander of Eastern Canada, to give us the introduction.
Bow down our head. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for your abundance. We invoke your presence in this gathering. We pray you to view us with your love and guide us to express that love in terms of faithful concern for our healing. We thank you for the memory of Dr. Rizal, who has been inspiring us to serve our country unselfishly. We thank you for the wealth of wisdom
He has left for us to cherish and to propagate. Grant us the courage and the strength to live up these ideals and to persevere when the road is tough and turning and seemingly endless. Teach us, O Lord, that life is not a race for wealth and power, but a career for noble living, not unto us, unto you, O God, with all glory and praise, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Sir Dario. And now, as we would like to call Sir Jim Delpas, if you are the Eastern Area Commander, to give us your commands.
Well, very nice. The dignitaries that are here, you should know the roll number of the Knights of Rizal. I'm here entrusted to read our Supremo's message. It's quite a bit of very small letters. And there was and Sir Brett, the most senior Knight of Rizal, gave it to me. I look at the printing here. It's like microscopic, but I'm going to try to read it as much as I can. Okay, and here it goes. A message from our Supreme Commander Elijo A. Ibanez, KGCR. Knights of Rizal, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as we gather by tradition to commemorate the birth of anniversary of our greatest patriot, Dr. Jose P. Rizal, even today, this event is a great reminder of the exemplary life he lived to commemorate an individual whose brilliance transcended his status in life and education, whose literary works brought about the burning movement of national identity, and whose courage, among other virtues, continue to inspire a generation of future Filipino leaders. For someone who so widely exalted, these words may not be sufficiently chronicle his life, but it gives us a glimpse of Rizal was. As we honor Rizal, allow me to look back on how he has shaped the course of our destiny and how his unparalleled devotion to the common good laid the foundation of our freedom from colonial rule. Let me reflect on how a single person's immeasurable love for his motherland unshackled the chain of the seemingly beat down Filipinos and awakened in them the burning desire to fight for their liberation and selflessness, paved the way for a revolution that earned us our freedom, a feat that remains unparalleled to this day. Dr. Rizal was under extreme scrutiny in his lifetime because he voiced out his opposition to the status quo. We challenged the prevailing oppression and used the might of his words to instigate solidarity among his dehumanized and desensitized fellow men, intimately earning him the ire of his colonizers. He was called to Mindanao for 4 long years and was brought back to Manila only to be executed. But even in death, Rizal's principles and love for his homeland were the rays of light that creep into the consciousness of early Filipinos not long after his ultimate a life worth living is are dedicated to a noble cause. In our current predicament, this noble cause is the dedication of oneself for the welfare of others. In our endeavor to emulate the life of Rizal, may we always remember that the pursuit of the common goal, rather the pursuit, but is rather incumbent in every citizen of this country. Indeed, Rizal's life and words are a testament that our own canons of compassion to others speak volumes. Our individual acts of kindness and our acts of service provide an inspiration to all Filipinos who need strong strength and courage to go on. For is a life really worth living if one does not develop a sense of mission to lift up the spirit of the common man and make him aware of his dignity. As we overcome the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic, may we draw inspiration from Rizal peaceful patriotism and instead aspire to be modern heroes who are part of the solution of our special societal problems. As a community, we can inculcate the values that we possess and incorporate them into our way of life. I fervently hope that the bravery of our beloved national heroes will serve as an example for Filipinos in the fight towards a more progressive Philippines. May this serve as a challenge to all of us, create avenues to awaken a stronger sense of solidarity and unity amongst ourselves. We are all called to be stewards of change simply by minimizing our God-given talents. Our efforts, no matter how small, can create a ripple of change. In whatever we do, may there always be a consciousness effort to think about the common good and strive collectively to achieve that so that we may collectively heal, recover, and rise as our nation. Fueled by Rizal fervor, alongside our great forefathers, may we overcome the seemingly insurmountable challenges ahead and envision a brighter and more comfortable life for every Filipino individual. Thank you very much, Nom Omnis Moriar, Sir Elijo A. Ibanez, KGCR, the Superior Commander of the Knights of Rizal. Of Knights of Rizal. Okay, so in other words, our Supremo is telling us, let's be united for a common goal. Okay? Remember, in Filipino we call it, okay, there, he always say this, there will be no oppressor if the people will not allowed to be oppressed. That's what he said. It is one of his books. So, remember, our situation in Quebec, you know what's going on. So will be instrumental on that to bring change, at least for a common goal of the citizens of Quebec or the development of Quebec. All right? And we have our friends here. I kindly introduce first of all, Mr. Councilor Marvin Rotran, who unexpectedly will be retiring. And we're honored, sir, to be the Filipino community is very honored to be your friend up to the last hour. Okay, we're gonna remain as a good friend. You're always there. You're always there for us, and there's no other way to say it. Thank you very much, Margaret. And also we have our member of parliament. He is well known in our community and is well loved also in our community, Mr. House Father. We also acknowledge the member of National Assembly, a very good friend of our community also. He's always there like the others when we need him. Like now, you know, Mr. Arkan. And unfortunately, Mr. Birnbaum has other commitment that, fixed already that he cannot change. But he actually sent us a representative by the nice lady Elizabeth. All right, so that's about it. I think I stayed here too long. Let's go on with the program. Very good.
Yeah, thank you, James. And of course, we are going now to hear the inspirational messages of our speaker. And here, the number one supposed to speak now is our ambassador Alfredo Robes, but he's not here. So we're going to proceed to the next speaker, who is our councilor,
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to recognize Anthony Housefather, our beloved member of Parliament, and Kirar Khan, who I have the privilege of working with regularly, are member of the National Assembly for Mount Royal. And my district is actually divided between Pierre and David Birnbaum and Elizabeth Pratt, who is representing David today. I'd like to say thank you to Sir James, who is the regional commander for Eastern Canada, and Sir Jerry Danzo, who is the chapter commander for the Montreal chapter, Dante Tabamo for the Notre Dame de Grasse chapter. If there aren't the other chapter commanders here, I don't recognize. There you are. Well, thank you for having invited me today for this important day. Knights of Rizal, what you do every day is important. You're the heart and soul of Philippine values. What you do is you give selflessly to the community. You are there to promote brotherhood and cooperation. Anyone can be a Knight of Rizal. You do not have to be a Filipino. You only have to believe in racial equality, peace, harmony, cooperation. There are people I know who have gone out of their way to become Knights of Rizal. I think of young Stefan Morin, who is with us today, who epitomizes the love many have for the work that the Knights of Rizal does. We are fortunate. Today is a special anniversary. It's the 160th anniversary of the birth of Dr. Jose Rizal. Dr. Jose Rizal is the national hero of the Philippines, but he belongs to the world. He doesn't just belong to the Philippines. We named this area here around the monument for him. There was a petition table signed by over 1,500 people, tabled at City Council in 2018. That was followed by a formal vote of the Montreal City Council unanimously giving the name last Dr. Jose Rizal. And exactly 2 years ago, with Al Abdon and the leaders of several chapters, and with Dario Boco for the Canadian Council of Filipino Associations in Quebec, we held a ceremony right here. And what a ceremony it was. 600 people attended. The Montreal media attended. The Philippines embassy in Ottawa sent a delegation. There were Philippine media here to broadcast live in the Philippines. Despite the time difference, I'm told we had a very significant audience. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the leading role of my good friend Al Abdon, president of the Philippine Heritage Month Society, which worked with me to make sure that this ceremony at this place was so well attended. I could not have done it without you. The Philippines community in Quebec is not the largest in Canada. There are 37,000 proud Filipino Canadians in Quebec. Most of them live in the Montreal region, and 17,000 of them live in the borough of Cotonou, NDG. We are the epicenter of the Filipino community, yet we're small compared to the Philippines community in Toronto, which numbers almost 250,000 persons. The borough of Scarborough has nearly 175,000 Filipinos living in that borough. Several former presidents of FAMAS now live in Scarborough. I stay in contact from time to time to know what's going on. And the Philippines community in Winnipeg, in Edmonton, Vancouver are very large. But I'm proud to say not one of them is more active than the Philippines community here in Montreal when we celebrate Philippine Heritage Month in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 4th Filipino Heritage Month in the borough of Cotonou, NDG. I'm proud to have moved the motion to create it, seconded by my colleague Lionel Perez. That meeting was held in February 2018. It was cold, minus 20, and yet we had over 200 people from the Philippine community come out to demand that the Borough Council adopt this motion because they were proud. It was the largest audience we've ever had. And then Parliament took up the torch, and there was a motion made, M155, to go beyond just having a local Philippine Heritage Month, but to have one right across Canada. As my friend Anthony who was a seconder of that motion and really pushed for it, said from coast to coast to coast. And Filipinos everywhere have taken up the challenge. There are several heritage months in Canada for different ethnic groups. All of us are proud of our distinct origins, but all of us also proud of our distinct heritage. And the Filipinos, more than anyone else, have made the Heritage Month something truly to be proud of, and to invite the general public to learn why they're proud, about their culture, about what they've accomplished as a people, and their values. So I'm pleased that now the third National Heritage Month has mushroomed across Canada, but nowhere do we do it better than here in Montreal. And I want to let you know that the Borough Council has again voted financial support for the Heritage Month Society, and we have voted financial support for this event as well. Let us talk about Dr. Jose Rizal. I said he belongs to the world. He belongs to the world because he was a true intellect. He died far too young at the age of 35. He was someone who contributed to so many fields: medicine, science, philosophy. He was a renowned author. He spoke many languages. He was an academic. The boundaries of his curiosity were limitless, and he impressed so many people. Wherever he went, he made new friends. But his call to fame was that he understood that colonialism was intrinsically evil, that it was based on discrimination and making the colonized people feel less than human. His work laid out values that would eventually become the bedrock upon which the new nation of the Philippines would be built. Dr. Rizal never got to live to see an independent Philippines. He died 2 years before independence, almost 2 years before independence. What did he speak about? Before Gandhi, before anyone else, he said Asians are equal to Caucasians. Everyone is equal. Humanity has a shared heritage, he said. This means to us today, these are the values we cherish today. But in his time, we lived in an era of discrimination and oppression. And he stood up to it and said, no, we are all equal. Brotherhood, equality between nations, true national independence calls on dialogue, peace, and harmony. These were his values, and they inspired a nation. When the Philippines rose up against Spanish colonialism in 1898, the first revolutionary government endorsed the principles of Dr. Jose Rizal. In June of 1898, the first revolutionary government said, this is what we believe. This is what defines us as a people. I don't want to pretend that independence came cheaply. There was a horrible cost. Many died. And independence did not come immediately. It took years and years before the Philippines threw off the shackles of colonialism and then the American period of control of the Philippines. Who understood in 1898 that independence would not come for almost another 50 years? But always, through that period of time, always, the Filipinos said that what defines us as a people is our national hero and what he believed. I've always admired another Filipino. Some of you may not know him quite as well, but you should. And that is President Quezon. He, too, said that Jose Rizal is like a light, a beacon that shows us the way to independence. And he opened the door of the Philippines to Jewish refugees from Nazi Germany when the rest of the world was closed. And when they asked why, he said the national hero talked of brotherhood, talked of equality. We are there to help. Today, the Philippines is a proud nation. It's a democratic nation. I really enjoyed the fact when I was in the Philippines of the diversity in the media. When something happened, the 2 newspapers or the 10 newspapers in the city would have different editorial philosophies. Some would love this politician and some would despise him. But there would be a lively democratic debate. And that, I'm sure, would make Dr. Rizal happy. He was able to come back today. He was say, you have realized my values. You have taken your place in the world, a peaceful nation, a nation that believes in democracy. Some say too much, because when you look at the parliament in the Philippines, there are so many different parties, sometimes all squabbling with each other, but this is a healthy and a good thing. And I'm sure Dr. Rizal would be very, very happy. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing my speech, I would like to donate a book to Mr. Al Abdon, the president of the Heritage Month Society. This book talks about Dr. Rizal and the wide road of progress. If you haven't read this book, you really need to understand it. It's not only about Dr. Rizal, it's about history, the 19th century and before, the struggle for independence and the building of the Philippines. It actually brought tears to my eyes to read this. I invite everyone. Mr. Abdon, I'm going to ask you to come forward. Abdon, on behalf of the Knights of Rizal, myself, and the other dignitaries here today, I present this book to you to be kept and cherished by the Heritage Society. Give your counsel to the younger people to read it, to learn about the heritage of heritage and origin, so that they too can be proud Filipinos as they grow up as they are Canadian citizens, and they will know where they
Sir, can we have a picture taking?
Thank you. I'm going to take one more minute of your time. It's true what James said. On Wednesday, right here in front of this monument, I announced that I will not be a candidate in November after 10 mandates and 39 years in office. I am 70 years old and my granddaughter for the first time. My granddaughter lives in Indonesia. While you guys are going to be cold this winter, I'm going to be in the Philippines and then in Indonesia. So I'm going to think of you, but I want to let you know this. I have complete confidence in my friend Lionel Perez to be an excellent mayor of this borough. I'm supporting Denny Coderre for mayor of Montreal. And there's going to be an announcement very shortly before Canada Day as to who the candidates I am supporting are for Snowden, Darlington, and Oakland. I have a feeling you're all going to be very, very happy, and I'm going to call on you as individuals to come forward and help get those excellent candidates elected. Thank you ever so much for your friendship and support of me. Thank you.
The history of the Philippines. Me, I cannot even remember the dates. But still, okay, thank you for everybody. And then I would like to call on supposed to be the next speaker is chair the MLA with Burnbaum, but the president committed, so he has a representative there. Which I would like to James lepas dito this here before sila can speak. Miss Elizabeth Obras.
I got a call from Mr. Brimbaum yesterday that he won't be able to make it, and he told me that he's going to be sending his representative to so I would like to call on Miss Elizabeth, the one and only, the ever beautiful Miss Elizabeth, the right-hand lady of Mr. Brimbaum.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, on behalf of Darcy McGee, MNA, David Birnbaum, who couldn't be here today, I join you in celebrating the message of freedom exemplified by the heroic life of Dr. Jose Rizal, Philippine national hero on his 125th anniversary of his passing. As the Filipino community of Montreal comes together to honor and remember the brilliance, courage, spirit of peaceful resistance to tyranny alive by embodying those important traits. Jose Rizal was a patriot, physician, and a man of letters who was an inspiration to the Philippine nationalist movement. He excelled at anything that he had put his mind to: medicine, poetry, sketching, architecture, sociology, and more. Today, the people, everyone here and across the Philippines, honor him as their national hero. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, trust. And of course, I call on our MNA chair, Pierre Arcan, to say a little bit.
Thank you very much. First of all, before talking about Dr. Rizal, I just want to take this opportunity to salute Marvin Wilson, because Marvin, when you think about it, close to 40 years as a counselor in the city of Montreal. I've seen many politicians in my life, but very few were involved as much with the community than Marvin Wilson. So again, I'm sorry to see him leave. I thought he was eternal, but unfortunately, there comes a time when the people have to leave. But Marvin, you did such a great job. So congratulations. I want to thank James de La Paz, of course, for inviting me today. I think it is a very important moment for the Filipino community. But like Marvin said, it's also not just for the Filipino community, but it is for the world, because Dr. Jose Rizal was a very important figure, like Nelson Mandela is and was, and many others around the world. When you look at his life, he was a poet, a writer, a doctor, and of course, even though he was killed too soon, he was 35 at the time when he was killed, executed by the Spanish authorities. You can see that his influence even today is still very strong. And of course, it shows how important his work, his dedication, and the fact that he became the symbol of the Filipino independence. I think it was quite an achievement on his part. So let me just tell you that it tells me all the time that when you believe in something, when you think that something is important and you really want to do something great, I think you can achieve it. And even though he was not able to see the official independence of the Philippines, his influence was felt everywhere, and even today it is felt a lot. So again, thank you very much for inviting me today. I can tell you that I have a very strong belief in the Filipino community. We always see Montreal as a multicultural city, a very important multicultural city. And, I was always impressed when I heard a few years ago that now in Montreal, one person out of two was not born in Canada, which tells you how multicultural Montreal is. Personally, as a member of our political party, we see that as a strength and not as a weakness. And among the strength of this multicultural city sits, of course, the Filipino community. I'm very proud to be a friend of the Filipino community, and I think you have achieved over the last few years and will continue to achieve a lot of things for the good of the Montreal community. So stay strong, and thank you very much for your help. What's the word that is mabo? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before I report on our MP Anthony Father, I just want to very sorry. Sunny, afternoon, in the morning, I asked James to say something about you, whether you're good or not what to ask.
Yeah, we're calling Mr. Sunny Moros. I should say, excuse me, Sir Sunny Moros. Okay? As of now, I can't say anything beyond that. The future
sure will be a lot of work for the community. Okay, I'm not going to say why, and you're going to find out. Okay, so I would like to introduce also a very special friend of our community, the one and only Sonny Marot. He's always been around with us, and we'll make sure that he's going to be one of those household names here in our community. Okay, Mr. Sonny Marot, the one and only.
Hi, thank you for having me here. Thank you to all the dignitaries for attending. It's one of the first events that we can all get together. I want to thank all the chapter commanders and knights and Rizalitas that are here. It's an important gathering thing to come together on an event where it's just pure happiness and celebration of the life of Jose Rizal. The anniversary date is an important date to celebrate, and we do so every year so we continue his message and his work. One that has not only stayed in the Philippines, but as our speakers have told us, has spread around the world over the last 160 years. So I just want to thank you and keep it very short. I appreciate everyone who came out here today, and especially everyone who has put in work over the past 16 months. We're going to look over this past 16 months and say, what happened? What are our memories? What did we contribute? And who did we lose? And it's important to remember that there's going to be people that we'll never see again, that we never got to say goodbye to. And we have to continue their legacy in the same way that we continue Dr. Jose Rizal with pride and love for those that aren't with us anymore. And I just wanted to take a moment to just thank everyone for still being around here and feeling confident to come to these events and celebrate. Thank you, Mabuhay, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Okay, now our next speaker is, of course, no other than our MP, Sir Anthony Maspada.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you to James and Jerry and everyone that invited me today. Dario, thank you so much. And also thank you to Al and all the people from the Filipino Heritage Society who, I'm just going to take my mask off a little bit since I'm speaking. But one thing that I have to say that I taught Sonny, you are always supposed to articulate, and I think you did it really, really well, because you want people to hear you. So one of the things that I am proud of today is that Jose Rizal is one of the very rare historical figures that we don't need to question. We're talking and we're living in an era where we're looking back at George Washington, one of the greatest Americans ever, but he owned slaves. John A. Macdonald, a great Canadian, but he was involved in residential schools, and we're looking at them and we're wondering, do we have to take down their statues? Do we have to rethink the way we see them? But that's not the way it is with Dr. Rizal. Filipinos can continue to be proud of his legacy, of his values, even though he lived more than 100 years ago. Way more than 100 years ago. That is incredible. He taught us the values of equality, of justice, and they're the values that we prize today in Canada, in the province of Quebec, and in the city of Montreal. And I want to promise all of you that when I am in the House of Commons, or when I am anywhere, I am always thinking of how we can best defend the values that we all share, equality and justice. And this week I had the chance to speak in the House of Commons about a constitutional amendment and a language bill that scares many within our community. And I continue to pledge that I will fight for your rights, and I will not let you be treated as second-class citizens in Quebec, in Canada, or anywhere else. And so now I also want to turn my attention. It's wonderful to be following Pierre Hakan, Elizabeth Prass, but I want to turn my attention to Marvin Rotrand, because Marvin Rotrand deserves not only our respect, but our accolades. He is the only person that I know that can walk down the street, point at a house, and tell me not only who lives there today, but who's lived there each of the last 40 years. I can remember in the last election, he would point at a house on McGlynn and say, 27 years ago. David lived there, and his phone number was 514-483-2618. And he had a sign up for me in 1991. And then he moved to Toronto. Marvin has the greatest memory, but also is the person who is the closest to the community, all communities, of anyone I've ever seen. He's advanced social justice. He's advanced progressive policies on the Montreal City Council for 39 years. And nobody deserves our respect, our accolades, and our admiration more than Marvin Rochand. Marvin, thank you for your service. And as opposed to all of the rest of everybody who thinks he's going off into retirement, I'm very convinced Marvin will not be going off into retirement. Marvin will continue to be serving in a different way going forward as part of a new administration in the city of Montreal. And we need his experience. We need him there. And also, let me end with one hope. I hope that the person who succeeds Marvin as the councillor in Snowden is also a member of the Knights of Rizal. Thank you. Because we need someone who can carry on that legacy. Anyways, thank you, everybody. It's great to be face to face with all of you after so long. Yay! Thank you, sir.
Okay, our next speaker now is our senior member of the Knight of the South here in Montreal, no other than Sir Albert Abdiera. But I think Sir James will pass would like to say something about you before we will have to say something.
Sir Bert Aviera, actually, is one of the youngest in our community. And I'd like to actually inculcate to everybody here that this class of Dr. Jose Rizal was actually the brainchild of Bert Aviera. I'm the person who connected it at the City Hall through my friendship with Mayor, former, not Dini, but Mayor Boy. So everything was materialized, and a lot of people, other community was asking me, how did we do it? Of course, that's a secret that I cannot reveal. Anyway, I would like to call on Sir Bert Aguilera. He's actually the most, the youngest of all, and he can tell you, and he can also share to us his past experiences with our community. Sir Bert.
Thank you. I could not cry, but listening to this speeches, praises, exaltations has given us energy. The speeches that you delivered today, for me, these are just after the fact. The importance, anything, all things, great or small, that exist in this world has its purpose. The creation, the existence of everything, like the monument of this Dr. Rizal, is a collective effort because it could be conceived by a person, but it could be achieved by everybody. What we have now is a celebration year after year, and that will never end. Now we have this momentum, and we have this spirit of to live in us as a person, a real person who exceed and enjoy what the earth has given to us. And for this reason, we, I for myself, is happy that we have this. But once has never end. My second choice or my second future achievement that everybody has to be with me that we cannot just be satisfied with the best since the city is all ears to us every time we need. why don't we ask the life size of Dr. Rizal? A monument. I know you also want, but nobody speak about it. This has been done in all countries. The city or the government itself is funding these things in order for friendship for the Philippines. But we have to initiate. We will never stop asking more and more because they are generous, because nobody would give you unless you ask. So think that we have a very generous politician. Anything we ask. Where in the world that the best park in the city was named to our heroes? We have to be grateful that our politician is with us. He has the heart of the Filipinos. So all we do is support because that is our obligation. It is always an effort of everyone that give and take is the mutual for everybody. Thank you very much, but now I have to go to my assignment. I was mandated by the chapter commander, Sir Jerry, that I have to read the message of from the headquarters, Sir Reynaldo Polo, Chairman of Elders at the occasion of the 70th Charter Day of Knights of Rizal. To all Sirs Knights, as we celebrate our 70th Charter Day, I congratulate the Supreme Council of Knights of Rizal, led by the Supreme Commander, Sir Elio Ibanez, KGCR, for their outstanding performance in Rizal years 2019-2020. Despite the pandemic caused by the COVID-19, our organization has increased size and number, while others have decreased or ceased to exist. More important, many of our new knights came from ranks of exemplary public officials, outstanding personalities from the private sector. This surge membership is a testament to the timelessness of Rizal's virtue, values which we preach to inspire our people on their journey to the 20th century. 21st century. It is my fervent hope that we observe our 70th year with higher resolve to scatter Rizal's ideals, especially to the youth of our land, with resilience born by the confidence that Rizal's ideas for our people will bring about peace, progress, and prosperity. And speaking of youth, Rizal's devotion is always referring to the youth because the hope is from the youth. We'd like to, I know the saying in Tagalog that everybody knows, ang taong hindi marunong magsali na magmahal sa sariling wika ay mas masalan sa So, anybody knows the title of the poem? So, here is the lady will tell you how the poem is there.
I am on my third youth, but AIDS is in the heart.
Thank you.
Dr. Jose Rizal is a linguist, but he loved his Filipino language. He wrote this poem when he was 8 years old. Ang aking mga kabata, kapag ka ang bayay sadyang umiibig, sa kanyang salita, kaloob ng langit, sanlang kalayaan na saring masakit, katulad ng ibong nasa himpapawid. Pagkat ang salita ay isang katahulan, sa bayan sinayot mga kaharian, at ang isang tao ay katulad, kabagay ng alin manglikha noong kalayaan. Ang hindi magmahal sa kanyang salita, mahigit sa hayop ay malansang isda. Kaya ang marapat pagyayamaning pusa na tulad sa inang tunay na magpala. Ang wikang Tagalog tulad din sa Latin, sa English, Kastila at salitang anghel. Sapagkat ang punong maalam tumingin sa siyang nagawad nagbigay sa atin. Ang salita na iyo'y kakuha din sa iba na may alfabeto at sariling letra na kaya nawalay dinatnan nagsigma ang lunday sa lawa noong dakong una. Salamat.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry, we do not know the English translation for that. Maybe one day we will gonna search for that, and also we will translate it to French. Okay, now our next speaker is no other than Sir Alfonso Actual, KOR, the President of Creative Society of Mondia. I don't know about his background, so I just want to ask again, Sir Jim Dinapas, to make a little bit introduction of his
background is he's always been around in our community. I'm not going to talk about his personal life because unless otherwise, I am a reporter of the Inquirer. So for now, I know him as an individual who's always been involved. That's like when I describe Sir Marvin, he's almost similar. In every important event, he's always there. So I would like to call on this gentleman. He's also a young gentleman. And can you come over, please?
Before I begin, sir, don't play by the rules because you don't expose my background. I have a lot of hidden, stories behind it, but I know you know some. And you're safe. Okay. As brother knights, as fellow knights of Rizal, as Rizal itself, that was emulated. You know, the Rizal has lots of girlfriends, right? That's him. That's him, not me. Anyway, before I begin, I would like to thank the Order of Knights of Rizal for awarding this book, this this excellent book, this precious book, which will be read by almost everybody. I hope we can share it to everybody because I'm sure that this is a precious, valuable information about our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. Thank you, the Order of Knights of Rizal. It was a surprise, really. I didn't even know. In fact, Ani wrote, he thought it was for Marvin, and he said, I will miss you. But now it's been corrected. Now my message. I'm sorry I'm not as eloquent as our good friend Marvin Bertrand, so I really need to have a codicle in order to say my speech. But before I begin, I would like to mention Auntie the House Father, Minister Diana Khan, also Elizabeth is a Philippine giver, Councilor Marvin Bertrand, our good brother Kurt Pera, the Grand Anay, our Lakay, James Lahat, Commander, Dahil Professor ng Toto, Delia, President of the Council. Simaro, I forgot about you.
Bye.
Yeah,
Yes, bye. Go ahead. Okay na. Thank you, thank you.
Yan, ano na. Pagkatapos niyan, mag-flower offering na sila.
Okay, sige. Paano na lang. Thank you, thank you.
Ayan.
Sige. Ayan mga kaibigan, ang aming coverage, official coverage ng 160th celebration ng birthday ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Kami po ay pansamantalang magbe-break. Maraming salamat sa ating napakagaling at ano tawag ito? Na si Bay. Oo. Again, maraming salamat po sa mga nakikinig. Magbe-break ako at alam niyo na kung anong susunod. Ito, magandang usapan to ngayon. Di ba?
Special thanks to our StreamYard sponsor, Miss Malu Bailey. Mabuhay ka.
Maraming salamat, Miss Malu Belly.
Thank you, Try Sun Film. Please subscribe and share.
Maraming salamat din, Trison Film. Thank you. At maraming salamat din sa Mandarin Gifts. Okay, maraming salamat. At of course, andito na tayo sa ating portion. Yes, andito na naman tayo mga kaibigan sa ating usapan at kwentuhan ngayon. Kamiging way. Pasensya na kayo, medyo mahaba po ang selebrasyon mga kaibigan. Aha. Nakita niyo ba yung video picture mga kaibigan? Oo, 'di ba? Ang galing talaga, no? Ang galing nila. Oo. Pakita ko yung picture, ha. Ay, nako. Ewan ko ba. Galing talaga ng mga ano na to, mga taong ito sa Kamiging. Oy! Po Diyos por santo. Can you imagine mga kaibigan? 'Di ba? Aha. Kasi Kasi itong nangyari, kanina lang to. Oo, sa birthday ni Rizal. Ayan mga kaibigan. Kita niyo to ito picture na to. Sana may picture na yan. But ay lumabas. Ay lumabas ka. Bagong issue to mga kaibigan. Oo. Imagine. Can you imagine? May protocol po ang IATF. So wala mo nang gathering. Aha. 'Di ba? Wala mo nang gathering pero look at what they're doing. Oo. Ang tawag nito yung ano ba 'yan? Di kasi uso sa mga mga poor na katulad ko eh. 'Di ba? Yung mga bridal shower, mga baby shower. Actually dito lang 'yan sa ibang bansa nagagawa kasi nga wala nga silang ibang way na magtipon-tipon, 'di ba? Pero in the Philippines, sa atin laging may pagtitipon eh. 'Di ba? Fiesta, birthday, whatever, blah 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 blah. Pero ito, pandemic some people are hindi na kumakain, naghihirap na, pero sila tingnan nyo. 'Di ba? Mayroon pa silang I don't care about the baby kasi walang malay yung bata. But ito yung mga to, tingnan mo. 'Di ba? Tingnan mo to. Walang protokolo. Pero nagka-COVID yan May COVID daw. Hala ka. So, alam mo ang iba, bawal lahat. Bawal lahat. Hindi pwedeng gumawa ng kung ano man na aktibidades sa isla. Pero pag sila, wala, okay lang. My God. So, ayan, una-una, bagong-bago kakalabas lang yan. Kakaano lang nito talaga actually. Nangyari ito ngayon lang. Diba? Kaya nangyari ito kani-kanina lang. Hindi pala ngayon, kanina pala. Diba? Kanina pa. So imagine, may protocol ang IATF. Siya na nagsabi doon sa live niya. Pero ito, alam mo pinapakita nila, sa totoo lang. Di ba may gumawa din ito? Nagmanyanita. Ito. Anong message ito? Sa tingin niyo, kayo mga taga-Kamiging, yung mga nandyan na Kamiging nun. Di ba? Hindi ako magtatagal din ngayon kasi aalis ako. Di ba? Kayong mga taga-Kamiging, ano sa palagay niyo? Kayong mga nandyan na nanonood pa na mga taga-Kamiging, sige. Anong pinapahiwatig nitong mga taong ito? Sige nga, kayo nga, kung ano ba pinapahiwatig nila? Ano bang gusto nilang ipaabot sa mga tao? Lalong-lalo na sa mga tinatawag nilang ultimo. Sa mga tinatawag nilang ultimo, mga kaibigan. See? Kasi bakit? Grabe na talaga yan, ha? As in, ha? Grabe. As in, grabe talaga. Sa mga ultimo, ay, wala kang pwedeng gawin. Ha? Pag ultimo ka lang, wala kang pwedeng gawin. Lalong-lalo na ngayong pandemic na to. Diba? Kaya ikaw, dahil ultimo ka, wala ka pwedeng gawin. Yun dun. Wala kang ibang pwedeng gawin kundi sumunod sa mga gusto nila. Sumunod kung anong protocol. Sundin ang protocol. Di ba? Pero pag sila, ganito sila. Ganito sila. Mga kapatid. Paano yan? So, pag ordinaryong tao, ay wala. No way. Di ba? Meron nga ako nabasa kaninang comment Meron na naman pala siyang pinagdidiskitahan dyan na parang negosyo na ayaw niyang makita or ayaw niyang ipakita sa mga makita sa tao, sa eroplano, kaya sa luggage ipalalagay. Simplihan lang natin to. Simplihan natin. Tama ba to? Calling IATF, calling national government, LGU, whatever. 'Di ba? Undesirable citizen na nga Yan, congressman yan congressman. Diba? At may bagong pasok, tatakbo pa lang mayor ito. Sa itong babae, ang anak ng asawa ng anak, tatakbo mayor sa tatakbong mayor sa Mahinog, nako. Nako, Mayor Akli. Akli ba? Akli? Tawa? Nako, Mayor. Nako, papalitan lahat na lang yan. Kawawang Mayor. Mayor! Nako, papalitan ka na pala, ni Gobo. Nako, papatakbuhin pala itong kanyang, ang kanyang, ano ba tawag dyan? Manugang? Manugang? Aray ko, kawawa. Kaya, nako, wala na. Tabla na. Yan sinasabi ko. Dati, First termer lang itong si Mayor teka tingnan ko mabuti. Baka makamali ako. Nako, mahirap na. Teka ha, ano ba apelyido nito? Akli nga, Akli. Mayor Akli. Honorable Rogerio C. Akli. Sir, Mayor. Nako, Mayor. Tatakbo pala yung manugang ni Gob. Ayaw kay bulong kay kung kwartahan ka sa Pinas, way mo badlong nimo. Yate ka. Ganun pala yun. Pag mayaman, kahit anong gusto mong gawin, sige. Alak ka. Ganun pala yun. Di ko alam yan Nako. Wow. Galing. Pag mayaman. Ay, salita yan ng comment dito. Patay ka, nag-comment ka, tatandaan yung mukha mo. Nako, patay ka. Nag-comment ka dyan, Barad, ililista ka. Di ka makakapunta na ng Kamiging. Aray ko. Kawawa naman talaga, no? Ay, nako. Piyesta. Birthday ni Rizal. Sa birthday pa talaga ni Rizal. Tama, no? Pagka mayaman, walang sasaway sa'yo. Gawin mo kung ano gusto mo. Di ba? Akala ko ba nagka-COVID ito? Tinuloy talaga yung nung Friday, nag-live, walang face mask. Kaharap yung mga announcer sa radio. Nako, lahat. Alam mo, lahat na ng pwedeng gawin sa lugar na yan, ginawa na nila. From Aras Street to down to Beverage, down to Pigiri, Kawiri. Bakahan pala, Kawiri tuloy. Kawiri. Lahat, mga kaibigan. Lahat po ng ito ay talagang ewan. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, siguro panahon na. Panahon na po talaga na tayo po ay tumayo. Mga kababayan ko dyan sa Kamiging. Di ba? Mga Kamiging nun. Lihok na taon mo Di ba? Adyaw na taon mo hadlok-hadlok. Dili, panahon karon mahadlok. Kaya kung sige ta mahadlok, ay hadlok-hadlok kung landa na ni mga demonyuhan Di ba? Adyaw ka mo kahadlok. Total, mamatay ka. Isa raman tayo kinabuhi. Tag-isa raman tayo kinabuhi. Napabailain kinabuhi. Wala naman. Di ba? Kasi kung dili ta mo sukol, pag hindi tayo lumaban dito sa mga hinayupak na to, ngayon. Ito yung tamang pagkakataon. Hindi na pwede bukas, sa makalawa, hindi. Ngayon. You should fight. Kasi bakit? Wala na pong ibang panahon. Wala na pong bukas o sa makalawa. Kasi ito na yung panahon Ito na yung tamang panahon talaga, mga kaibigan, mga kapatid. This is the right time. Ipaglaban natin o makipaglaban tayo. 'Di ba? Huwag na po nating antayin pa kung kailan o sino. Dapat ngayon na. Ngayong panahon na 'to. Labanan natin 'tong mga 'to. Kasi bakit? Biruin mo. Yan, may protocol. 'Di ba? May protocol naman bakit ayaw nilang sundin yung protocol? 'Di ba? Siguro sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin sa isla, laban tayo para sa isla. Para sa Camiguin Island. Manindigan tayo. Huwag nating antayin. Ito na nga, basic example, oh. Oh, wala pa nga. Ang ganda naman ng pamamalakad ni Akli. O bakit papatakbuhin yung manugang? Diba? So meaning, pag hindi ka na useful, sisipain ka na. Pag hindi ka na useful, sa bagay, baka may in-offer na mas malaki. Pero kung ako, why should I? Diba? Laban tayo mga kapatid. Sa mga makikinig nito, manonood nito, magre-review, kakatingin ko din to. Diba? Ito na po yung time, panahon, para labanan ang mga katulad nitong mga to, itong pamilya na to. Walang ibang pwedeng lumaban sa kanila. Kung ang strategy nila is bayaran yung mga tao, ang strategy natin din, wag natin tanggapin. Kahit takutin pa kayo, wag niyong tanggapin. Yung mga tatanggap, yun yung mga duwag. Yun yung mga bayaran. Yun yung mga patay gutom. Diba? Yun yung mga duwag. Duwag, duwag, duwag. Diba? At sasabihin ko sa inyo, sa mga tatanggap, pag tumanggap ba kayo ng pera, hindi kayo mamamatay? Do you think hindi mangyayari yung mga nangyari sa inyo nung iba? Yan. Mag-isip kayo. Hindi 2 beses, 3 beses. Mag-isip kayo 1,000 times. Pwede pa 5,000, 10,000 times kayo mag-isip. Na kung nangyayari ngayon sa iba, hindi mangyayari sa iyo. Hi DG, good evening. Watching from CDO. Salamat. Diba? As always, as always. As always. Diba? As always talaga. So, what happened kung hindi ka magsasalita? Yeah, I know, natatakot tayo, pero anong dapat ikatakot? Mamatay? Bakit? Hindi ba tayo mamamatay? Mamamatay tayong lahat. Kaya kayo, lagi kong i-reiterate dito na wag dapat katakutan yung kamatayan. Masarap mamatay pag mayroon kang pinaglalaban. Diba? Huwag ka tumulad sa iba ng mga tao ng mga plastic. Dami niya nagkalat dito. Dito sa amin, sa Montreal. Kaya nga ako, ayaw ko na dito. Uwi na rin ako. Kung plastic lang, ang dami. Akala nyo sa social media lang marami plastic? Marami din plastic dito sa Montreal. Kung plastic lang pag-uusapan. Nagkalat. Diba? Kaya kayo, nandyan sa Camiguin, kung gusto niyo maging plastic lang ang buhay niyo, di sige. Wala akong problema. Pero ito tandaan niyo. Ito itanim niyo sa kukotin niyo. Kayo ba, hindi mangyayari sa inyo yung mga nangyari sa iba? Diba? How can you guarantee na yung nangyari sa ibang tao, hindi mangyayari sa iyo? Sige, give me a guarantee. I-guarantee sa akin na yung mga nangyari kay Poncio Pilato, kay Juan, hindi mangyayari sa inyo, kay Pedro. Lalo-lalo na sa pinakita nitong mga hinayupak na to. Diba? Tingnan niyo mabuti yun. Tingnan niyo mabuti itong ito. Diba? Kung tama ba naman itong mga taong ito, gagawin kaya nila ito? May protocol Siya pa nga ito. Pareho to. Kaya ito mag-ama, pareho Kaya nga isa lang. Wala. The way din magsalita yung anak, parehas din. Kahit type-type lang ha. O duda nga ako, baka hindi sila yung nag-type eh. Di ba? O sino kaya taga-type nila? Meron na akong listahan sa mga troll ni gobernador o ng mga Romualdo. Mayroon akong listahan. Kaya ingat-ingat, kilala na kita. Ano kaya, no? Sige, hayaan natin. Di ba? Kasi nakakagigil to eh. Sa totoo lang, nakakagigil talaga to. Sa mga, hindi nakakaalam, ako, manggigigil ka talaga dito. Manggigigil ka. Alagang parang kung gusto pa, kagatin mo na to sa ilong, kakagatin mo na! Kaso lang, hindi pwedeng pumunta tayo doon sa kagatan. Kasi baka mapagtripan kayo ni gobernador. Bilangkad. Bilangkad gig ka. Ay, nako. Ito, protokolo. Wala. Anong pinagyayabang nitong mga to? Dahil sila yung hari, pwede nilang gawin lahat ng gusto nila, pero para yung mga tao na maliliit, hindi pwedeng gumawa. Ano, Gob? So, salamat sa nagpadala ng picture, ha? Thank you sa picture. Ay, galing. Di ba? Ito nga, kakapasok lang na sa kwento. Nay, usa, comment, nga gipangitaan kuno og bikil ni gobernador ang mayor sa Mahinog kay ipadagan ang asawa ni XD sa candidate. Mao na diya. CY Rax 101, shout out dyan. DJ Yui. Grabe, no? Sino ba yung mga nag-break ng protocol o yung manyanita? Baka kaibigan sila. Alam mo, may nagpayo sa kanila sa totoo lang. Iyaan mo na yung mga nagsasalita dyan. Wala yan. Mga ano lang yan, titigil din yan. Ay, naku. Pero may nabasa ako, it was dated May of 2021. May of this year lang. Nung komento nung gobernador, yung congressman. Galing. Parang lang ba? Parang, ewan ko ba? I found out that the usual clowns have filed petition against the provincial ordinance granting a franchise to Blue Hydro Pacific Incorporated engage in water distribution and wastewater and separate management in the province. Ano tawag niya? Clown siya. Hindi lang sa clown. Para ba siya tingnan mo yung mukha niya, yung ngiti niya, parang ngiti lang ng aso eh. Dated May 26. Tapos, what I'm concerned about that is Blue Hydro Pacific seeing nga gihilabtan ang ilang trabaho o investment just because of politics. Well, they suddenly decide that kamiging is not worth of their time. Wee! Talaga lang. Drama! Kini nga yung mga linya drama. Ang musakay, sulod sa bulsa. Hilabtan. Pag hilamay, takara magkag-istorya, tik-atik pagig ka, hilabtan, mong kabuang ka. Pila ra gani ilang kuan? Kapital? 250,000. Samantalang milyones ang ano nito. Palusot ka pa. Daming nag-comment. Tuwan-tuwa ako, nag-comment ako. Ha ha ha. Patawa tong congressman na to. So, you see, sumangil ang ilang fighting para mga tao daw sila ang tinuod at gusto nga lagi hapon tubig way mag-suffer daw. Hello, Mr. Congressman, matagal na po nagsasuffer ang mga tao dahil sa inyo. Sasabihin mo para galing ka. Buisit. Congressman ito ha, congressman. Wala, like father, like son. Nak ng teteng. Hi sa mga nanonood. Yung mga secret lang. Mga sir, may kaya naman kayong gawin eh. Gawin nyo na. Gawin nyo na. Kasi wala gyapoy tubig. Karamag ka. Dagan mo kayo tubig sa inyo, padulong, libre. Karamag ka eh. Sahad na saging karon. Gila-sila sa ka. Ha? Ano yung tubig na diretso sa inyo? O walang tubig? Bakit? Inubos nyo. Kapal na mukha mo. Diba? Umalis ka na wala kang bodyguard. Tayong dalawa. Kahit malaki ka ba sa akin. Tarantado itong congressman na to eh. Oo. Hindi ka lang anak ni nitong gobernador na to. Hindi lang Romualdo apelido mo. Ewan ko lang kung diba? Luko-luko. Tarantado itong mga to. Sisisi pa sa mga nakakita ng hindi maganda eh. Alam mo, congressman, kung congressman ka talagang magaling, makinig ka, kung magaling ka, mag-isip ka. Matagal na po nagsakripisyo mga tao sa Kamiging, 30 years ago pa. Mula nang kayo nakaupo dyan, salitan lang kung saan-saan. Huwag ka nang magmaang-maangan pa. Katulad ka din ng tatay mo eh. Di ba? Wala kang pinagkaiba. Kaya nga, exchange deal lang kayo eh. Anak, ikaw na muna. Tapos na ako dyan. Baka naman. Anak, ikaw na muna. Ayos lang ba sa'yo? Can you imagine? You're a public servant tapos ganito gawin niyo. Ito ginagawa lang to ng mga hari. Pinapakita niyo lang talaga na hari-hari kayo diyan sa isla. Naghahari-harian na hindi naman kayo hari. Bakit sa inyo ba yung Kamiging Island? Ha? Salamat nga kayo, nakinabang na kayo sa kayamanan ng Kamiging Island eh. Tapos susubrahan nyo pa. Lahat na lang. Gugustuhin nyo. Lahat na lang kukunin nyo. Mula sa babae, sa lansunis, sa karagatan, pati tubig. Nangyari dito. Kaya ako, sabi nga, hindi ako magsasawa sa ang lagi sinasabi sa akin, DG, huwag ka magsawa. Malapit na. Malapit na magsawa. Diba? Pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako magsasawa dito. Ang sarap-sarap itong pag-usapan araw-araw. Sa totoo lang. Kasi bakit? Ang dami. Ang daming bumanak ko. Oo. Kawawa to sila kasi maraming nagbibigay ng impormasyon eh. Mm. 'Di ba? Ito latest talaga nakita ko na posting Oh. Sabi dito, pasensya na kung Cebuano ako, tanawa. Tanawa ra gyud ang dakong binuang ni Santilmo. Bisan kiri na BG Ande Pastel diha sa Camiguing Airport. Ipasulod gyud kuno sa bagahe. Bisag puno para dili makita ang tatak. Kagrabe na pud oy. Ano ba yan? Labaw pa sa martial law. Diba? Tanan na lang, tanan. Di pwede, ay nako, kung itong mukhang ko to, kung sila pa rin nandyan, sigurado di ako papapasukin dyan. I'm sure. Baka nga, ideklara na akong persona non grata eh. Ha? Pero ito lang sasabihin ko sa iyo, Gob, walang epekto yung mga declare na yan. Walang kakwenta-kwenta. Spanish era pa yan. Spanish era ba yan, Gob? Yung mga ganyan. Hindi tatalab sa akin yan. Yung mga ganyan. Hindi tatalab yan. Kaya wag na. Kung nag-iisip ka, talagang ako kung pwede na lang uwian ko yan dyan talaga. Diyan ako magbo-broadcast sa inyo eh. Diyan ako Babuntahin mo yung mga kapgo mo. Ha? Dahil pag-iisahin ko yung mga yan. Pagbulbulin ko kayo. Ha? Matatapang lang kayo pag may baril kayo, no? Bahagang mga buntot ninyo. Hoy, mga kapgo na mga tao ni Romualdo. Andito na buong picture nyo sa akin, ha? Lahat ng picture nyo. Nayupak kayo. Tatakutin yung mga tao. Mayroon pa dito, please topic, local government unit, education fund. Hoy! Alak ka. Di ba? Paano yan? Education fund. Ito yata yung mga nagbibigay siya ng scholarship. Parang pera niya. Kala mo talaga marami pera itong gago na ito, no? Scholarship. Ay, maganda ka. Taka doon, ha? Scholarship. Nga pala, no? Bigyan niyo ako ng dokumento nito, ha? Local Government Unit Education Fund. Nako. Ito ba yung scholar ni Gob? Yan, kawawa naman mga bata. Diba? Kami nga, grupo namin dahil galing din kami sa isang grupo na pinag-aral ng mga dayuhan. Ang scholarship program din. Sponsor. Hindi scholarship, sponsors. Gob, sana sponsor na lang ginawa mo. Huwag ng scholar. Shout out daw DJ kay Sophia Durano. Hi Sophia Durano. Nako, Gob. Talagang sana Gob, dumating yung time na Nako, delikado yung mga nito, mga babae. Oy, kaya kayo, pag nagamit na ni Go, wag kayong gumamit. Iwas na, uy. Baka nako. Yung sexual transmitted disease pa naman eh. Naku. STD. Ba? Sexual transmitted. STD nga. Kaya pag may nakita kayong medyo maganda tapos tanongin niyo muna. Baka dumaan kay Gob. Diba? O yan, Gob. Paano mo ginamit ito, Gob? Itong na to? Yung education fund. Diba? Anong ginagawa mo dito? Ikaw, Gob, sobra ka na talaga, Gob. Lahat na lang eh. Lahat na lang talaga. Wala na bang ligtas sa mga tao dyan? hindi na ligtas yung mga tao dyan talaga. Nako. Ewan ko. Di ko maintindihan. Ay, sige. Basta, Gob. Uy, kayo ding mga taga-Kamiging, ingat-ingat kayo. Lalo yung mga kalalakihan na mga mahilig din. Tira kayo ng tira. Si Sarge, wala na. Nasa na si Sarge. Nasa mabuting kamay na si Sarge. Ayaan nyo sa Lunes. Gusto ko ng dokumento nitong tawag ito? Dokumento nitong document ng education fund. Paki-provide ako. Sino mang nakikinig dyan sa akin. Oo. Di ba? Dami nito. Ganda nito eh. Saan kaya napunta ito? Yan. Saan kaya napunta? Uy, tago mo na ng konti kasi nandyan si Gob. Andyan si Gob. Ingat. Uy. Patayin mo muna yan. Nandyan si Gob sa pintuan. Namamadyan. Hinahanap na yung Natawa ko dito eh. Kawawa naman yung mga bata, no? Wala naman kinalaman sa kalokohan ng mga matatandang ito. Diba? Ayos talaga ginawa ni Gob eh. Kaling. Pwedeng pamarisan. Tingnan mo. Bakit nakatakip yung isa? Natatawa o naiiyak? Alam mo, ayoko na. Ay, uwi na ako. Ay, ako, Gob. Ikaw, Gob, wala ka talaga patawad. How can you stand up in front of people telling them that to obey the protocol, but you yourself is number one violator? In fact, there's a lot of things happen with regards COVID in your area. But what you are doing now? What are you doing now? You want people to follow the protocol, but you yourself is a violator. What kind of a leader you are? English yun, ha? Sabi nga ni Rizal, ang hindi marunong magmahal sa sarili ang wika ay mas balansa pa sa isda. Kaya ayaw ko mag-English masyado eh. Baka mapagalitan ako ni Rizal eh. Diba? My goodness. I cannot imagine, mga kaibigan, na ganito yung nangyayari ngayon talaga. I can't imagine anymore what is happening to our country. Despite what our great leaders do for us. Instead na atin silang kopyahin yung mga magaganda nilang ginawa, the other side yung kinokopya natin. Inihigitan pa natin. Diba? Sabi nga, Gobernador, yung education fund. Lahat na arastri sa kanila din. Ayoko na magtanong, baka may magalit sa akin. May nag-text. May nagpadala ng photo. Ano daw? May message dito eh. Sabi, it means DG, gawa lang niya lahat. May picture pinadala. Sige. Ito. Abi nimo kana si Black Barbie dili si doktora maoy si doktora ang real Black Barbie matod pa sa janitor office ni Gob. Si Batman basta mosulod si doktora sa office manggawa silang tanan. Stop. Matod pa ni Batman. Kahigayon wala sila kabalo dito sa likod. Nag-cleaning. Pagsulod mao nakita. Gidugi si doktora. Langya kayo. Kala ko ano pinadala. Doktora pala yung totoo na Black Barbie. Hindi pala patay na sa likod pa talaga. Ano ba to sila mga mga rabbit? Mga rabbit? Marilo. Idosok katulo. Dami pala nilang kahit na lang, janitor, congressman. My goodness, auditor. Alak ka. Wala. Ako, kahit ganito lang to, sabihin natin walang patunay ito. Maaring hindi ito totoo, maaring totoo, or gawa-gawa lang. But I doubt people will not make story for something lalo na ganito. No. I don't believe na gagawa lang. Ano intensyon? Para siraan? 'Di ba? Okay lang sana kung walang record. May record ka, Gob, na lahat ng type yung taga Miss Earth nga, Gob, di ba? Nadali mo ba, Gob? Ano, Gob? Nadali mo, hindi? Nakadali ka ba ng Miss Earth? O yung Mexicana, Gob, dito sa sa Amerika nung pumunta ka, nadali mo, Gob? Na nilabasan mo ng credit card mo, may pangalan mo pa, tapos congressman ka. Kaya mo kahambog, no? Legit, to. Diba? Nadali mo ba yung Mexicana, Gob? Kasi di naman nakikwentong nadali, eh. Kaya ikaw tatanungin ko, punta ka dito, Gob. Gob, akit ka. Magmensahe ka, Gob, bibigyan ng link. Akit ka, Gob. Nako, ng teteng ka, Gob. O talaga, Gob. Rabbit ka talaga, rabbit. Sige na. Oo, ano na ninyo sa Lunes lahat yan. Ipadala nyo na lahat sa Lunes yan para sa Lunes na tayo babanat. Tama na muna itong banat natin ngayon. Ano to? Part 14. Ano, may nagsabi, DJ part 30 yan hanggang. Episode 30. Diba? Sige. Kayo nang bahala. Mga kapatid, alam niyo na gagawin nyo. Share, like, and share. Diba? Ako, ayusin ko yung pati website namin, ayusin namin talaga lahat. Yan. Next week, mga July 8 pa pala yun. July 8, yan. May bago na tayo server. Courtesy of our friends. Maraming salamat. Na-order ko na kagabi. Ang bilis, eh. Yan, protektahin lang ang name sa nagpadala. Di mo gina ko nabasahin ang nagpadala. Di na ko basahin ang nagpadala. Kabalo mo tamo ko, likay-likay. Pero grabe to. Abi ni mo si Black Barbie, dili, si doktora na. Maoy real Black Barbie. Aray ko. Agoy. Dami ang bana. Patay na si Banana. Di ba pinagyayabangan sa Manila ng mga Romualdos na elite family sila sa Kamiging? Sus Mariusip, I always remember the mother of Pedro Romualdo mag-angkat ng food sa Mambaho Public Market in the 60s para makabili lang ng bigas para makakain silang magpamilya. Sabi nga, ang hindi marunong lumingon sa kanilang pinanggalingan ay madadapa. Kaya ako'y magpapaalam na muna sa inyo lahat. Salamat. Thank you so much. Today is Saturday. I have to take a rest. Papahinga din ako. Kaya magkita na lang tayo. Tapos na tayo dito sa ating Kamiging Way. Ayan. Dito naman tayo, mga bati-bati muna tayo sa totoo lang. Saglit. Again, happy Father's Day pala. Oo, sa lahat ng mga father around the globe, happy Father's Day. That will be tomorrow. Wala tayong live streaming tomorrow. Happy birthday. Happy Father's Day again, advance. Online love, natin wag kalimutan. Ang ating bisita na si Mr. Noel Cabangon this coming June 22. Of course, Grace Note on June 29. At mayroon pang iba, abang lang. Sa lahat po, magparehistro na po kayo para makaboto this coming 2022 national and local election. Again, greetings portion lang. Bati-bati muna tayo bago tayo magtutuloy na magpaalam. Hi to Mahir. Ayan, si Mahir. Ayan. Sino pa? Wendy, Wendy Andres, Epang Cruz, Maureen De Silva. Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Diba? Oo, sige nga, tingnan natin kung nandyan pa. May tao pa ba? Oo. Tingnan natin kung may tao pa, ha? Magpaano ako? Magpaano ako ng 100. 100 pesos load. Diba? Tingnan natin. Walang hashtag. Oo. Sinong nandito? Okay. Walang hashtag. Tingnan natin. 16 people lang. Oo. So, sino kaya ang mananalo ng 100? Kailangan sumulpot agad ang may nandito para sa 100. 16 o 23 na. Dumami. Nako. Sino kaya itong mga to? Para sa 100 pesos load, mga kaibigan. 100 lang. 100 kasi wala akong pera. Hindi ako kasing yaman ni Gob eh. Oo. Di ba? Okay. Naglayasa na daw. Naglayasa na. Sabi ni Maureen, naglayasa na kayo. Eto, for 100 pesos load, mga kaibigan. Message agad sa CPRM pag nanalo. Mag-message din dito kung Facebook o YouTube. Ito na. Taradan 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 tan 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 tan. Taradan tan 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 tan. Taran tan 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 tan. Tan taran tan tan taran tan tan taran tan 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 tan. Uy! CY Rax 101. Nanalo ka ng 100 pesos load. Kaya magpakilala ka na, mag-message ka sa Facebook page. Nandiyan ka ba si Rax? Wala na? Press 1 nga kung nandyan pa. Kasi kung wala na, edi siyempre, magra-raffle tayo ng iba. Nandiyan ka ba si Rax? Si Rax. Uy. Alauna. Uy. Alas 2. Alas 3. Uy, wala na. Wala na si Sirax. Wala si Sirax? Okay. Ay, nandyan pa. O yan. Sige. Hala, okay, Juan. Sige. O, message ka sa CPRM, Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal. Facebook page. Message mo, number mo. Loadan natin. Siguraduhin mo lang ikaw si Sirax, ha? Baka naman. O, dyan mo na lagay yung number mo, Sirax. Ngayon na. Bigyan na kita ng load. Ngayon na. Sige na. Oh. Anong number mo? Kasi loadan na natin ngayon na. Wag na pala doon sa baka ibang eh. Number dito na, lagay mo. Hayaan mo, marami kang ka-ticksmith. Sige. Bigay mo sa akin number. Send ko na agad. Ako pa, mabilis ako eh. Oo. Sige. Ano number? Give me number. 1, 2, 3. Joke. Give me your number. Now na. Kasi load na natin. Di ba? Or sino bang bigyan mong ng load? Ngayon mo na i-message. Para hindi ako baka iba ang mag-message. Saan na? Tika, hanapin ko pa. Pakibilisan ng konti kasi ako'y lalayas muna. Oo. Yan. Sige. Sige, antayin natin number ni isa pa, may mimigay pa ako isa. Isa pa. Sige, isa pa. Sino kaya ang mananalo? Taran taran tan 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 taran tan tan taran tan tan. Chik chik chan charan chung chung charan chung chung charan chung chung. Wala. Di. Nanalo na to. Ulit. Nanalo na yan. Lagi ba ulit-ulit? Ay. Wag mo sabihin pa ulit-ulit. Itapon kita sa dagat. Oy, Andres Bonifacio. Nako, Andres, nanalo ka. Ay, Susette. Ay, Milga. Diyan pala si Milga. At saka si Susette. Ay, hi. Hello. Di ba? Si Andres. Ayan, nag-hi si Milga at saka si Susette. Hi. So, okay, ready na? Wala na. Wala si Andres. Andres! Wala din si Andres. Okay, sorry. Tingnan natin ulit. Tulog na si Andres. Yan, ayan, ayan, ayan. Oy! Yan, si Pointless Inc. Nandiyan pa ba si Pointless Inc? Wala na yata. Tulog na rin. Pointless Inc. Alauna. Alas 2. Alas 3. Wala, isa lang talaga manalo. Ako'y magpapaalam na eh. Yan. Si Wyrax ha. Sige. Wala. Alas 4. Alas 5. Yan. Alas 6. Alas 7. Alas 8. Alas 9. Alas 10. Bye-bye. Isa lang nanalo talaga. 100 pesos load po yan, mga kaibigan. Wala sa amin sa Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal at tahanan ng OPM, Original Filipino Music. Ayan. Ako po yung pansamantalang magpapaalam na. Happy weekend, everyone. Thank you. God bless. See you on Monday.
Ang bundok ng Apong Sandawa ay pugad ng bantog na agila na may matibay na dibdib walang taba. Kaya't ako ang unggoy lumala. Siya ay may inakay na hinasa, matapang ito at pihasa, na masasabi kong kasing talas niya, nasusulot sa lipad ng ama. Lipad anak ng agila, lipad ng makikita din, upang may tutuwid ang balukto, upang matatakot ang mga salot. Lipad na anak ng kapila, balahibo at pag-ismo'y sapat na. Ang bayan sa'yo'y umaasa, sagisag ka nitong ating bansa. Lipad na. Siya ay may inakay na hinasa, matapang din ito at bihasa, na masasabi kong kasing talas niya, nasusulot sa lipad ng ama. Lipad anak ng agila, lipad ng makikita nila, upang may tutuwid ang baluktot, upang matatakot ang mga salot.